Well, let's bring in, as we do every Tuesday, the very attractive voice from America, the splendidly informed former executive assistant to the former American President Ronald Reagan. Peggy Grande certainly knows her stuff. Peggy, thank you for your time. Look, surprise without notice. I think our viewers would like to know, because you never bang on about your own drum. But am I right in saying that this morning, you're at the White House unveiling a new Nancy Reagan stamp in the company of the president's wife? Just tell us briefly what that was about.
Well, you're right, Alan. Your sources are spot on. I was at the White House this morning for an unveiling of the Nancy Reagan stamp, one of only 6 first ladies who have been issued a stamp in their honor. And it was a lovely bipartisan celebration with Dr. Jill Biden doing the unveiling. And in the East Room of the White House with the portrait of George Washington right there, there's nothing more special than being there on a day like this. And to gather with good longtime Reagan friends made it extra special.
Yeah, amazing, yes. I can recall the time we met with the then President Carter in the Oval Office. That was another story. He was a speed reader, Jimmy Carter, and he learned everyone's name off by heart. And the Australian Prime Minister was Malcolm Fraser, but Malcolm's name was John Malcolm Fraser. So when we arrived in the Oval Office to meet President Carter, he referred to Malcolm Fraser as John, but he knew all our names and everything because he'd sort of learnt all this stuff off. Now, to the serious stuff. Just returning to a subject we talked about a couple of weeks ago, I see that more than 2/3 of Americans want to uphold Roe versus Wade, and most favour women having access to legal abortion for any reason, according to a Wall Street Journal poll. Does that take the heat out of the debate?
Well, always thank you for having me on, Alan. And, I think this is going to be a non-issue in November. This was meant to be something that was always to be decided by the states. Even Ruth Bader Ginsburg, a very liberal justice, said that Roe v. Wade was wrongly decided in 1973. And the case that's before the Supreme Court right now is not banning abortions. It's just saying that the rightful owner of that decision is the state. Our Constitution, any powers that are not expressly given to the federal government belong to the state, and this was never a power granted to them. Right. This case was wrongly decided, and many on the left agree.
Just for our viewers, the 1973 decision by the Supreme Court established the constitutional right to an abortion. 68% of the respondents in this poll said they would not like to see the court completely overturn Roe. Peggy, the figures are interesting, aren't they, on a very delicate matter, because they're saying, this poll said after 15 weeks of pregnancy, 34% of respondents were in support, 43% in opposition. After 6 weeks of pregnancy, 30% were in favour, 49% opposed. But 57% of respondents said a woman should be able to obtain a legal abortion if she wanted it for any reason, which is the highest share since the University of Chicago poll began asking the question every few years ago, way back to 1977. So I think the point to sum this up is, you're saying this won't be an issue as you see it in the November midterm election.
Well, I think that it's not the access to abortions that people are concerned about. It's the timing of it. And the left has continued to push this conversation further and further. Most of the American people are not in favor of abortion during a third term or third trimester of pregnancy. And some on the radical left have even suggested that abortion should be allowed after the baby is born. To me, that's called infanticide. And so it's not a matter of access to abortion. It's a matter of the timing. And I think there's great consensus on the first trimester having it be what Bill Clinton called safe, legal, and rare.